Well, hi, everybody. Before you buy the Valentine's Day flowers, let me ask you this and answer this for me. Are you actually there? Today, we're talking about the promise to show up because love is about presents first. Hey, everybody. Who is her? Yes, welcome to the Jason Hewlett Show. We're talking faith, family, fatherhood, freedom, fitness, funny, and farce. Today we're taking the mask off. Who are you? No one is watching. Yeah, that guy. Am I that worried about what other people think?
From the outside, everything feels handled and under control.
I can speak to that because I've done that before.
You ever notice how people react?
We're performing with the lack of character, how the pressure to post the progress. I do my muscle flex. I'm glad you're doing it. Our arena isn't the stadium. It's where you're trying to be present for your kids. Like keeping a promise to your child when you're tired. Mean dad. Mean dad. We all fall to the level of our habits. Your family, they need you. You have kids? You ever wanted to be the cool dad?
What people don't see is the upkeep.
If your heart isn't in it, literally, you can't show up. Open your mouth too. We go live every Thursday at 3 p.m. The Promise to the One. There are plenty of these left on Amazon, by the way. Oh yeah, there are plenty left. And we're so grateful you're here with us today. We're going to talk about a couple of really cool topics. Why your Valentine's gift won't save your relationship. We're going to talk about Tobey Maguire's new girlfriend, a lesson in the promise we keep to our kids. And how about stop filming your life and start living it? We're going to talk about father time. And then in Jason's Variety House, I'm going to share with you an example of a story I went through this week within the performance world. And then we're going to talk about why your 45-minute workout is failing your family, believe it or not. And all of this and so much more coming up next on the Jason Hewlett Show.
I walked past the Valentine's aisle and saw panic buying in real time. Grown adults gripping teddy bears like emotional life rafts.
That rush is interesting. One day of effort trying to cover 364 days of distraction. That math rarely works.
It's wild how simple it used to be. A note, a card, a small act that says, I see you.
Simple can be powerful. Consistent acknowledgement builds trust faster than grand gestures ever will.
Jason, when did love become a production instead of a practice? Take us back and show us what we forgot.
Special thanks to Doug and Phil. That's some good ideas. Those guys are AI-generated characters. And my friend, I want you to think about Valentine's Day when you were a kid. When I was a kid, I remember like third grade, especially for whatever reason, I remember spending nights at home for a week, working diligently, thoughtfully, even painfully, writing notes to every single person in my class. Some who weren't even my friends, really. Some who I didn't like, but I included everyone. And it was to show love to everyone, whether it was male or female. It wasn't about getting a girlfriend. It was about showing love to everyone. The cards were of your own choice. I remember picking out, for example, the Batman kind. I think I got Care Bears because I loved that. Garbage Pail Kids. Do you remember those? Oh, yeah. Those were like, right, the fun ones. I got a candy heart with each one and handed it out, sometimes chocolate on a very successful year for my parents. That's what Valentine's Day was to me as a kid. It was one of the most important days of the year at school. Do you remember that? I mean, if you grew up in the 80s, I don't know if they still do that now. I know my kids still talk about it and kind of make some stuff, but man, when I was little, that was so important. You would then show up to class. Do you remember this? You'd show up to class with a homemade box decorated to the hilt and cut the top, right? You'd cut a little slit in the top opening, and it was usually a cereal box, and you'd leave it on your desk. And then you'd take your homemade notes and treats and thoughts and encouragement and walk desk to desk, putting your Valentine's messages in everyone's box. And you were so proud of yourself. Your handwriting was pretty good. You'd spelled everyone's name right. You were acknowledging everyone. Now, thinking about this now makes me wonder, is there anything like this still happening? Or anything I've done to create some thing so spectacularly simple, yet so acknowledging of others? You know, I'm now an adult. In today's world, how do we show this level of love for others? Can it be Valentine's Day every day in the way we live the promise in our lives? Absolutely. I think so. I think part of the problem with Valentine's, eventually it becomes this awkward thing where you're like 5th, 6th, 7th grade. You're like, oh, I have a crush on that person or whatever. So then you slow down on the I love everybody concept, right? It's only been through the last few years that I've been like, man, I need to show love to everybody all the time. And as an adult, I've had to figure out how to do that the right way. Because if you go in for a hug on an account and you're like, hey, and they're like, so you got to pick your battles, but you always want to show love, right? The only way I think about how to do this is as follows, and maybe this is helpful for you as well. How do you show love every day in the adult and workplace? So let's say, for example, if my friend writes a book, and I have lots of speaker friends, entertainers, people that write books, I will not ask for a free copy. I buy it on Amazon. And I like to be a verified purchase. To me, that's important. And then I make a video, a testimonial video about it. I'll hold their book. I'll take a selfie and I'll talk about their book. I'll give it a 5-star review that I've actually read it. And why do I do this? Because others have done it for me. And it felt so incredible that I adopted the practice. And I thought, man, if I liked it that much, they must really like it. How about this one? Birthdays. Social media reminds us of the birthdays of our friends, right? So do we do something or do we write something? I like to post on the occasional social media, and mostly it's with a heartfelt text that I would rather send them, or a full-on email, maybe even handwriting a note telling them how much they've made a difference in my life. And sometimes things only they would know about within our relationship. It's important to me to be able to say that to them and let them know how important they are to me. I do this because others have done it for me. And so as you're thinking about, like, is there a way to make Valentine's Day be Valentine's year? Like, can we just show love all the time? It is needed. The world is thirsty for your love and thirsty for your energy and everything that makes you who you are and how you express it to others. How about this one? Support others' dreams. Supporting others' dreams. Recently, my friend reached out and said his son is putting on a concert, and he'll be thrilled if a pro in showbiz, which is me, in his opinion, a pro in showbiz came and watched his son perform. He wanted me to give him support and advice for his son's career. He offered me comp tickets. Oh yeah, everyone likes comps, right? I mean, who doesn't? But being on the other side of putting on events, doing shows myself, I know how much comps really cost. It's actually way more than the ticket. And I refused the comps. I thanked him for it, and I bought 4 full price tickets. And I know that'll support him at another level in just getting it free. I do this because others have done that for me. And this is a way I can share love in that way. How about a health supplement? I am a part of a health supplement company called Cardio Miracle. Everyone asks for free product all the time. How do I get your product? I don't know where to buy it. Should I buy it? Should I call you, or should I go somewhere? Where would I get your product? I'm like, dude, you act like you have no idea that it's available on my website. It's available on Amazon. It's available at cardiomiracle.com. And I mean, the question is, would you go to a friend's restaurant and say, I only eat here and support you if you comp my meal? Okay, well, I don't think so, right? But think about the efforts of your friends' businesses, their dreams, their need for customers. Do you show up? Do you leave a better tip when you go eat at your friend's establishment? Do you pay full price or ask for a freebie? If they deliver a free dessert, do you leave a review for them to help? I mean, these are just ways to reenact what in the 80s, remember, putting those little notes handwritten in every single box back in the olden days. That's how we did it around the classroom with Valentine's cards, treats, messages. Want to do something spectacular for someone today? Buy their product. Read their book and review it. Write a positive recommendation for them on LinkedIn with nothing return expected, right? Just doing it. How about commenting on their post or sharing it? Maybe post about them and their work. That is how we return to giving Valentines to everyone every day, all year long. I'd forgotten about that. And so the question is, how will you keep the promise to celebrate Valentine's Day all year long?
I saw a man sprint into 7-Eleven sweating and whisper, "Please have flowers." He left victorious with a $2.99 rose.
Nothing says lifelong devotion like fluorescent lighting and impulse pricing. Effort counts.
Planning counts more. We treat February 14 like a final exam. Study for 48 hours.
Hope nobody checks the rest of the semester.
Leadership at home is daily. Trash out, phone down, eye contact held, micro promises kept without applause.
Jason, if Valentine's exposes the truth, what are we actually revealing this week?
It's February 14th in 2 days. It's right now February 12th. So if you're anything like me, you've probably seen the headlines, the commercials, the frantic aisles at the grocery store. We are 48 hours away from the Olympics of romance. But here's the uncomfortable truth we don't like to talk about. A lot of us are about to perform. Yeah. Hey, we're going to buy the card because it's the day for the card. We're going to make the reservation because that's what a good partner does. We're going to put on a show. But leadership, the kind that starts at home, it's not a stage play. It's about the grand gesture you make once a year to make up for the 364 days you were staring at your phone during dinner. Yeah, I'm talking to myself too in many ways, but because in some ways I have not been great at being fully present, but my wife and I laugh about Valentine's Day all the time. And yeah, it's a nice day to celebrate love, no question, in a holiday kind of way. But in reality, we say this in our house. Around here, it's Valentine's Day every day. Now, flowers show up on a Wednesday around here just because. Dishes are done without anyone discussing it around here. Back rubs, massages, romance kisses, walking by in the hallway, giving a kiss or a smooch, tap on the butt, hugging, dancing in the kitchen. These are daily romances, and these are ways to live as Valentines all year long with your loved one. But the people in your life don't want your performance. They want your promise. And they don't want a bouquet of flowers that'll die by Tuesday. They want the version of you that stays in the room when things get quiet. They want the version of you that keeps the small unspoken promise to be there. And today, we're stripping away the red foil and the hollow gestures. We're talking about why your presence is the most expensive thing you own and why you've been giving it away to everyone except the people who deserve it most. So let's talk about the resolution slump for a second. It is real. By mid-February, 80% of people have broken their promise to themselves already at the beginning of the year that we all set, the New Year's resolution. So how can you lead yourself if you've already lied to yourself this year? Maybe it's time for a new promise to step up and say, I'm going to practice just being somebody who expresses love throughout the year rather than that one day per year. Performance versus character. What about performance doing something for the applause or to avoid the fight, let's say, while character is doing it because it's who you are when the calendar isn't reminding you? There's something of a cost of digital adultery. Have you ever heard of that? It's not physical, but emotional. When you're at the dinner table, but your mind or your eyes are on your email, even in your mind, right? You're breaking a promise of presence. And right now, the luxury of attention is a real thing. In 2026, attention is the rarest commodity on earth. And giving it fully to your spouse or child's a higher level of leadership moving than hitting a quarterly KPI. So let's think about some of the micro promises that we can make. Trust isn't built with diamonds, although girls like their diamonds, right? Diamonds are a girl's best friend, right? But it's built by taking the trash out when you said you would and putting the phone down when they walk into the room. How about that? Now let's talk about some of the humorous things I've noticed. You guys, seriously, I need to laugh at the absurdity of Valentine's pressure to get to the heart of real connection. Have you ever seen 7-Eleven roses or 7-Eleven chocolates? I'm talking about the convenience store. Seriously, guys, truly, the saddest thing I've seen in Valentine's Day in my career as a man, a dad, a husband, was when I went into 7-Eleven one time and I saw little crappy fake single wrap chintzy roses on the counter that I could buy. I thought, is this a joke? Like, I laughed. And then I saw a man run in, sweating, and then ever so grateful, he said, I couldn't find flowers anywhere. And he bought a $2.99 single rose at 7-Eleven for his wife. I was like, are you serious, man? I appreciate the effort. Hey, but nothing says I love you like a rose I bought at 7-Eleven. So, gentlemen, we must do better. Please don't be that guy. Plan ahead, think of something. And if you're saving it for the last minute, then maybe that means it's time to make more effort on a weekly basis instead of once a year. I once tried to buy chocolate dip strawberries because my neighbor said they were making them for Valentine's Day. I was so excited because she can make everything well. I spent $250 on a few dozen because my wife loves chocolate strawberries. So I bought way too many. I think one for every year of her life or whatever at the point. And I said, I can't wait to give her these. And then we got them. The strawberries were dead, rotten. Something with the chocolate dipping in them killed them. I don't know. I had dozens of them. We licked the chocolate off. And, you know, a rotten strawberry. We just laughed to think that our neighbor actually was selling these and that I had been had. It wasn't on purpose. It was just bizarre. And it was out of character. I shouldn't have bought that many, I guess. But think about it for yourself. Are you waiting for the one day to give the gift of love? How about being the type of person that does it all year round instead of waiting for that one moment? So the February check-in is this. Forget the Valentine's gift. What is one small daily habit you can start or restart today to prove to yourself that your word still matters? And is your love a show and performance or a promise kept every single day?
The Super Bowl happened, but the internet picked a different headline, a photo, an age gap, and suddenly everyone became a commentator.
Public choices always carry private consequences, especially when you're a parent. Your kids are watching more than the crowd is.
I'm not here to judge anybody. I'm just curious. When your child sees your life, what do they think adulthood looks like?
Aging is a season. It can look grounded and steady, or it can look restless and searching. Kids learn from whichever version we model.
Jason, what promise do we quietly make to our kids about character as we grow older? Let's talk about being a hero at home.
Let's talk about being a hero at home. And let's talk also about the Super Bowl that just happened. If you watched the Super Bowl, you were like me, you were watching for the halftime show, especially because it was supposed to be so bad for us to see it. It was actually a really interesting performance. I don't know what he said, but it was very good. Bad Bunny knows what he's doing. He's a very good performer. But while the world is talking about that halftime show or the final score, the internet is melting down over a photo of Peter Parker himself. Yeah, Spider-Man, Tobey Maguire. What the heck? He's 50. He's 50 years old. His companion, Mishka Silva. Am I saying that right? Mishka Silva? She's 20. He's 50. She's 20. Hello. For those of you doing the math at home, and I know my audience, you are definitely doing this math. She's almost exactly the same age as Tobey Maguire's daughter, Ruby. No, look. I'm not here to be the morality police. I'm not here to tell a grown man who you can or you can't sit next to at a football game. But I am here to talk about the promise, specifically the unspoken promise we make to our children about what a man of character looks like as he ages. Now, it's hard to look at Hollywood for this example. I know that. In Hollywood, performance is everything, right? You stay young, you date young, you play the part. When your face starts getting wrinkly, all of a sudden they do the facelift thing, and you're like, do I look better? How are my eyebrows? I'm surprised at everything. Yes, this is the Hollywood way, isn't it? But yeah, you date young. Okay. For us as leaders, parents, we know that character over performance is where the real game is won. And when your kids look at your life, do they see a leader who's present and grounded, or do they see someone chasing a version of youth that they themselves are actually living? Oh man, it drives me a little bit bonkers to see this happening. And Tobey Maguire, Tobey, he might be a superhero on the screen. And Spider-Man, hey, as an actor, right? Today, we're going to talk about how to be a hero in your own living room and where the stakes are a lot higher than a movie franchise. And here's the thing. I like Tobey Maguire. He's a great actor, right? But this is an interesting point to me because let's talk about the mirror test. If your dating life or social habits mirror your child's peer group, are you a mentor or a competitor? Oh boy. Yeah. Let's talk about the Leonardo DiCaprio trap. Every time I've seen him with somebody in the last 25 years, it seems like they have to be younger and younger. And it's almost like a cultural trend of aging stars who plateau at 25. Is this a sign of success or refusal to embrace the beauty of a new season of life? I can understand why he thinks somebody younger is more, attractive in that moment. But let me tell you, what a shame to watch somebody become known for that thing that is actually not as great as you would imagine. You can legally be right, but rationally noisy, right? So how the noise of our public choices can drown out a private message to our families. Like if I'm out there shouting that I'm doing all these other things and I'm not living it in my house, I am incongruent. I'm breaking my own promise. So let's talk about the daughter factor. Let's examine the psychological impact on children when their parents' romantic interests are their literal peers. Guys, my daughter is 20 years old. I'm 47. So Toby Maguire's got a 50 on me. Okay, he's 50. My daughter is 20. What the heck? I'm going to show a picture of her if I can find it here. I know I've got a picture of my family. There they are. Yeah. My daughter's 20 years old right in front of me. My sons are 19, 18, 14. Okay. They're young. This is my favorite group, right? My favorite people. Am I their competition? Holy heck. That's crazy to think about that as an idea. So our 40s and 50s should be about deepening our roots, not just polishing our leaves. I mean, every choice a parent makes is a promise of what the future looks like. What are we promising our kids about the value of wisdom over novelty? So just because you can play the part of the youthful playboy doesn't mean you should. Let's lead without the mask for a minute. Leadership's about behavior, not position or coolness. So question is, if your child grew up to mirror your current lifestyle and choices exactly, would that make you proud or concerned? I mean, are you spending more energy trying to be relevant to the world or reliable to your family? And what areas of your life you're performing for an audience of strangers instead of showing up for the people who actually know your name? Yeah. As I'm thinking about this, I'm thinking about how, it's not about judging where they're coming from. I'm not doing that. I'm just saying, look at the perspective between what their life currently is with their children that age and what they're putting out into the world. It's just a little bit of a disturbing trend. I understand that lots of guys are going through a midlife crisis. I know at my age, 47, I mean, this is the time, right? Like I should go buy a Ferrari or a Corvette or whatever I can afford. Or usually you buy something you can't afford. That's a midlife crisis. Or you go and dump the person you've been with for a long time and go try to get that trophy. That's your own kid's age. Yeah. No, let's not. Let's come back to the foundational reason why we have families. The reason is to deepen our roots, keep our promises, to love one another, to help each other grow and strengthen while deepening those roots into a foundation of faith, a foundation of togetherness, of foreverness. And if we don't do that, we're breaking the promise to a lot of people. I can tell you this, I haven't talked to Toby Maguire's daughter about this. I can only imagine how she feels. That's hard. I wish her the best. I wish their family the best. I wish Toby the best. I really do. And his new girlfriend. But I'm also concerned that other men might think this is a good idea. It's usually not. It doesn't turn out well. This is not going to last long. I hope it does for them, but usually it doesn't. How can you be faithful and loving to the people that are there right now, aging along gracefully with you? And how can you be that example? How can we, as men, be the kind of men that do life different in our midlife?
I'm not even a dad yet, and I caught myself filming a moment I should have just felt. I didn't like what that revealed. Awareness is a start, but if your phone owns your eyes, it owns the moment. Your family feels that shift immediately. I tell myself it's a 30-second check, then I'm gone, mentally.
Physically still there, but not really. Teen girls notice that fast. When your eyes drift to a screen, they feel it. Silence tests leadership.
Jason, are we documenting our lives or actually living them? Let's talk about father time before we lose more moments.
Yeah, everyone, welcome back to Father Time. Yeah, tomorrow is an exciting day because it's the day before good old Valentine's Day, right? So you got 48 hours, my friend, from right now, essentially. But in 48 hours, the world's going to be flooded with expensive hearts or expensive roses, heart-shaped chocolates, social media posts trying to prove how much we love the people in our lives. Oh, I love my friend, my person I love so much. Well, okay, I like I say, maybe post it more than once a year. We're going to see thousands of people and thousands of photos of perfect dates captured on the latest devices. But I want to ask you a hard question. Are you actually there? In 2026, we become experts at capturing life, right? I have my phone right here. This captures a lot. We have 8K footage of the dance recital. We have cloud backups of the bedtime stories. We have digital legacies that will outlive us. But I fear we're becoming ghosts in our own rooms. We're physically present, but our souls are 3 tabs over. We're watching our children grow through a 6-inch screen while they're standing 3 feet away. Have you noticed this? We think we're being father time by documenting the history, but fatherhood isn't about being a historian. It's about being a participant. Let me say that again. Fatherhood isn't about being a historian. It's about being a participant. I'm guilty of this. That's why I'm talking about it. I know that when there are moments that I'm like, I don't want to participate fully, so I'm just going to document it. That's crazy to admit, like in a meta sense, right? Because it's like, I think all the time about, okay, I need to be fully in on this, but I'm going to document it too. And there is something special, of course, to capture the moment, the run on the football field, the moment somebody's getting a new experience, or their college just came through that they're going to get a scholarship. Like, those moments matter, right? You want to capture them. And then there's this thing where you're like, am I fully present in this moment? I've noticed this a lot on social media because a lot of these performers that you see, even performers I've been to, they're like, whatever you do, don't bring your camera. I don't want to see any cameras. Mostly stand-up comedians do that now. They won't allow you in without zip-locking and locking your phone away. Like, you can't even take a picture of the stage or anything because it might capture their material they're working on for the next Netflix special, right? Performers now are even saying, hey, you know what, guys? Just enjoy the moment. Because usually, if you ever take a picture of an audience, they're like this. They're like, the whole audience, like 1,000 people looking through their phone, taking videos of the performance. This happens on stage. It happens in life. It happens with our family. It happens with the people and the moments that matter the most. Your kids don't need a high definition recording of their life. They need the low definition, messy, unedited, eye contact, heavy version of you. Yeah, they want that. They don't want a ghost. They want the man. The man right here watching. So let's put down the capture and pick up the connection. Because the greatest promise you ever made wasn't on your wedding day or at the birth of your child. It's the unspoken promise to be nowhere else but here when they need you. And I'm grateful for this concept, this idea, because I have fallen into this trap of pretending I'm capturing the moment while I'm not fully present in it. It's kind of like the 2026 digital ghost, right? I mean, it's like saying we're always on with the tech and it makes us physically present but emotionally absent. It's like a haunted house effect in our modern homes. And so it's not just about being in the house, it's about being able to level with your kids. So that might be getting on the floor. That might be eye level where leadership happens. had some tough stuff happen in the last few days with my family. I'm not going to share and spill the beans, but I'll tell you, we've had some rough stuff happening. Sending a text might not be the best way to communicate in this sense. And hey, I'm guilty of that too. Sitting down and having the conversation eye to eye, man to man, or dad to kid, that's way better. As we're working through all of these types of challenges and things, if we can be fully present, not just documenting it, not just firing off a text to clarify a problem, that's what our kids want. That's father time. When my kids were little, they wanted the raptor. Everybody's seen me do this that follows me. You've seen me perform. And the kids are like, Daddy, no. They love that. And I'm like, all right, that was then. What about now? Now I pretty much hide behind this and say, I'm capturing this moment while everyone else is singing happy birthday, or while everyone else is doing the thing and I'm watching it, capturing it, to say, I'm a historian. Hey, let's not be a historian. Let's be a father who's present. You know, when was the last time you looked into your partner or your child's eyes long enough to notice the color change in the light without looking away to a screen? Yeah. This is all stuff we're all struggling with. But the question is, when you're gone, do you want them to have 10,000 photos of you, or the memory of the one time you put the world on hold, put the phone down, and just listened? I like to say I make a living as a speaker, but I make a life as a listener. I like to live by that. So the question, we'll wrap up this segment, is, are you the father historian or the present father?
Okay, hear me out. What's your boundary with the client? Not the slogan, the real one. I've said yes when I meant maybe. I've said maybe when I meant no. That never ends well.
Boundaries protect the standard. Most people don't set boundaries. They set tolerance. Then they're shocked when resentment shows up.
Jason, are we documenting our lives or actually living them? Let's talk about father time before we lose more moments.
Well, I appreciate them asking about that. And yes, of course, we just hit on that whole concept of father time. And so now let's go a little bit further into some of the fitness of life, because we talk about all the F words on this show. We're talking about faith and family and freedom and fitness and even finance. We probably should throw that in there. But of course, funny and farce is what we want to be a part of as well. So I want you to know I see you. I see you at 5 a.m. Lace up your shoes. Hit the gym, man. You're putting in the work. Yeah. You're sweating. You're grinding. You're telling yourself, I'm doing this for the kids. I want to be around my kids. Right? That's a beautiful promise, man. Good job. Most people have quit that promise by now in the middle of February. But here's the truth we don't like to talk about. We're going to go even further into that. For a lot of us, the 45-minute workout has become the new late night at the office. Yeah, it's a socially acceptable way to hide. All right. We trade the chaos of a toddler's breakfast or a teenager's moody morning for the controlled, predictable environment of a squat rack. That's how my squats look. Yeah, that sounds really bad, doesn't it? That's how my squats are. We're performing, you guys. We're chasing a physique to prove we've still got it. And while our families are at home wishing we'd just be there. If you come home from a workout so exhausted and so self-absorbed that you have nothing left for the people you claim to be training for, your workout isn't an investment. It's a withdrawal. And it's time to stop training for the mirror and start training for the hallway. Let's talk about being at home. The hero fallacy. We often use health as a shield against criticism. If we're at the gym, no one can call us lazy, right? Even if we're avoiding the emotional labor of parenting. I have done this so often that this is why this topic resonates with me so much. Eventually it becomes this thing where you're like, it's okay for me to just kind of disappear from the family because I don't want to deal with all the the stuff that's going on in the house. I don't want to have to clean it up. I don't have to deal with the mess that is having little kids or having a family at home. And so I'm going to go to the gym and just crank it out. Yeah, you're keeping your goals. Yeah, you're keeping some promises, but remember the promise to the family. Let's talk about performance versus capacity. A performance workout's about the weight on the bar, right? A promise workout is about increasing your capacity to stay calm when your kid spills milk at 7 p.m. I know as I go through every single day and I see where I'm pretending that I'm not fully present, whether it's the whole documentation thing we just talked about, father historian, or I'm going to go hit the gym because that's an easier place to hide because I'm keeping my goals. The 2026 shift should be functional longevity, right? The trend is moving from looking fit to being useful, right? Now, can you sit on the floor for an hour? Think about the stuff that your kids want to do. Maybe your kid wants to just shoot baskets with you. That's awesome, right? Go do that. If you're working out just for the mirror, that's one thing. But if you're being able to do pull-ups because that's something that allows you to do strength greater for your family in the present moment, then that's what it's for. Can you carry a sleeping child up the stairs without gasping for air? Maybe that's what that's what I've worked on recently, is to think, okay, I still need to be able to function in a way where I can keep up with my kids on a hike. They're not going to think we can't invite dad to shoot baskets. They can't think, hey, dad can't work out with us because he's not fit enough. I want those types of things. And I'm also doing a lot of kettlebell workouts. The kettlebell seems to be a good one. I'm getting off the ground. I'm doing the Turkish get up. Right? It's a quick little 30-minute. But let's talk about the sweat equity of presence. If your workout requires 2 hours of prep, drive time, and recovery, is the cost of that time worth the physical benefit to the family unit? I think a 30-minute workout is plenty. 45 is okay. I mean, you can crank something really good out. Maybe bring the kids along, bring your wife with you. If that's possible, I know sometimes you got to just split it up. She goes and then you go. Hopefully that's how you've worked this, but don't let it be the place that you hide. So let's talk about the micro-promise model, shifting from one long, selfish block of time to integrated movement snacks that involve the family or take place in the margins of home life. What are the ways in which we can integrate our family into that whole system of getting healthy? Maybe it's just we're working out together, we're having a good time, we're drinking our Cardio Miracle together. And I just have to put a plug in for Cardio Miracle. This sponsors the show. This is a family legacy business, my friend. And I'm so thankful for the idea of the fact that all of us have something like this in our world, to be able to create that for ourselves. If we're willing to mix this up into the drink, it makes a big old difference, doesn't it? And so I hope that as you start to think about it for yourself, how your health and fitness comes into the play, just remember, don't just sneak away, be fully present. And my friends, that'll make all the difference in the world. I want to give a plug to Cardio Miracle, because Cardio Miracle can help your family get into that health mode for each other. It's a great daily supplement. It's changed my life. It makes me feel wonderful and healthy. I'm grateful for it. And so as we transition into this last little piece, I'm excited to be able to talk to you just a little bit about a client experience I had the other day. And my friends, I hope that you'll take a minute and go check out cardiomiracle.com. It'll change your life, give your heart the health it needs. It's going to do you good. I hope you like that music. Makes me laugh. And I hope that you enjoy the AI variation on me. That's what's fun about this show. And I have to just thank my production team, as I'm plowing through all of these monologues and all the things that we've prepared. Obviously, I'm skipping around doing some things that I know they're catching, and I appreciate their ability to hang on with me. As we wrap up, I'm going to share an experience that I had this last week that was really interesting, and it's just part of the funny and or farce of what I do. So I thought it would be fun to share it right here as we wrap. First of all, though, thank you for joining me today. I really appreciate it. I actually had an event right before this. I had to race from the downtown where I live, and it was about a 30-minute drive in a monster rainstorm as I was making sure to get here in time, tearing off the clothes, putting on the new stuff, getting my hair all right. Oh, do I look okay? So thanks for joining me. And as we continue to grow this, it's going to be exciting. But this last week, I had an experience. It was actually 1 week ago today, after I did the broadcast last week. I hope you'll check that out. And we do have a couple of episodes we've already done. And yeah, we're coming to you live every Thursday at 3 p.m. This is a really fun experience for me to do the Jason Hewlett Show with an amazing team. They're all around the world, so it's awesome. Events to me are very sacred. They're very important. And that's where this story comes from, because after this, after this recording last Thursday, I raced about 70 miles to go do a speech for a group in the evening. And between that time, our client that we've been working on for like 6 months on an event that's coming up in midsummer, let's say, they pushed us too far. Let's just say. Have you ever had that happen where you're excited about something, you have things in place, like things are going down the right road? Usually it's not a big deal. Usually for me, getting a client excited to have me come and perform, speak, do my thing, it's a really cool process. They talk to my administration, the office, the staff, all the people that run everything. Because if I try to do it, it's going to be a disaster. My people know what they're doing. They get all the stuff in place. Now, then imagine getting a text or even a phone call from your secretary or assistant that says, hey, we're having a lot of problems with this client. And we were having more problems than they were even letting me know about. In fact, we had gone down the road so far with this client that I had just finished making a video for them where I was speaking into the camera, promoting their event. Hey, you got to come to this event. It's going to be great. And they reached back to my assistant and said, hey, can he redo that video without his glasses on? And I was like, well, I mean, I wear my glasses on stage. I need my glasses. Why do they need a different video? Right? Like, what was it, the delivery? They said, no, they just didn't like you with the glasses on the video. Well, the video took me about an hour to make because we also had to set up all the cameras and get dressed up in a suit because they wanted a suit. They want Abraham Lincoln in the background. As you can see, there he is still. It's a good spot for him. But like, they wanted specifics. We did them. And then they said, hey, it didn't work because after I edited everything. And I was like, what, really? Just the glasses? Okay, well, what? Have they had any other complaints? And then the truth spilled out. They had called me keynote speaker the entire time. So we gave them the keynote speaker rate, which is just sometimes a little bit different than if I were to entertain and do a show where I beat myself up completely. I also like to do the speaking a bit more than the show because the speaking is a little easier on me. And I feel the presence of the message, it really hits. And they now had shifted from the speaker to now he's the entertainer. And they had put that on their poster. And now they're promoting it around the city. And we hadn't even signed a contract. In fact, we had sent the contract, which everybody signs, never has a problem with it, no matter what. Especially if it's the full fee. We had discounted this quite a bit because this is a kind of more of a charitable group. And they had changed so much about the contract, didn't even look like ours anymore. I'm only telling you all the details because how far are you willing to let someone push you until you realize that, you know what, they're only in it for them. They're not looking to help me. I remember thinking, how could they have this many challenges with what we've been sending them? They were wanting me to pay for extra things, to take even greater discount, to do some stuff that I wasn't comfortable with. So I asked my assistant, I said, have you signed the contract? She said, oh, no. I said, oh, so we're still in the vetting process of having this client. She said, I guess, but we're pretty far down the road. I said, never that far. Called her up, the client. She was still a little bit catty. I don't know what the word would be, like difficult, pushing us too much. My friends, if we're going to keep a promise to somebody we're working with, we would expect that the same type of respect would be given back. And unfortunately, it wasn't in this case. It's very rare for me to have to cancel on a client. I only canceled saying, we're not signing the contract that you have manipulated, changed essentially everything we agreed to upon the initial conversation. I'm not coming to your event. They said, why? We've done everything. And I said, yeah, because of these 12 things. And I had a list of things that you have demanded, changed, shifted, changed the deal, made it difficult on us. We realized that this actually isn't going to be an opportunity that we're going to have together. These things are rough, right? Like, this is business. But what pushes you to the limit? For us, it was them breaking so many, even just respectful boundaries with my team and with me. And we're not going to put up with it. Hey, I need work. I want to go out and speak and perform, but I'm not going to do it for anybody. And I hope that you'll also stand up for yourself. And what are you going to put up with a client? I hope that you'll think about that the next time somebody pushes you so far and you think to yourself, man, I kind of don't want to be in this. Well, have that conversation. Pick up the phone and call them. It was a brutal conversation. And yet we got it done. We're not going. And I'm going to get other work that's going to be with clients that I'm excited to be there with. And yes, that's even from a guy that does this and makes people laugh. Do you know the only reason I've survived in business this long doing funny things is because I take business and relationships so serious? Because I love delivering the promise to people, and I expect that they'll also give me the respect back. And so the question is, will you keep the promise to have the hard conversation this week? And maybe you can shift a few things in your day to have Valentine's Day every single day instead of just that one time per week. Be that present father. Be the best you can be. And hey, I'm Jason Hewlett. Thanks for joining me. Keep the promise. Hey everybody, yes, welcome to the Jason Hewlett Show. We're talking faith, family, fatherhood, freedom, fitness, funny, and farce. Today we're taking the mask off. Who are you? No one is watching. Yeah, that guy. Am I that worried about what other people think?
From the outside, everything feels handled and under control.
I can speak to that because I've done that before.
You ever notice how people react?
We're performing with the lack of character, how the pressure to post the progress. I do my muscle flex. I'm glad you're doing it. Our arena is in the stadium. It's where you're trying to be present for your kids, like keeping a promise to your child when you're tired. Mean dad. Mean dad. We all fall to the level of our habits. Your family, they need you. You have kids? You ever wanted to be the cool dad?
What people don't see is the upkeep.
If your heart isn't in it, literally, you can't show up. Open your mouth too. We go live every Thursday at 3 p.m. The Promise to the One. There are plenty of these left on Amazon, by the way.